All right, so part 2, standalone. Probably won't combine this, but it's going to be airplanes versus trains, I guess, or whatever we're going to call it. So, you know, the 9 to 5 stuff never did it for me, you know? It just never did. It's not that, you know, well, I guess that we're exploring it here. But basically, I went to a college preparatory, again, money well spent, and it was actually found by an oil baron. I shit you not, in Texas, Houston, Texas, right, Strake, I guess you can look it up, who cares? And, you know, it was, you know, college preparatory, smart kids school. There were some rich kids. I think, what was the most famous guy there? The coach of the Houston Rockets, both of his sons went there. They were a couple of years older than me. I think he had 2 sons, at least one son. He was 2 years older than me. He was tall. Yes. Tom Janovich or so, I don't know. So, you know, it's a prep school. It wasn't like a boarding school, right? It was just a normal high school. It was actually a lot more ghetto than you'd think. Like, we didn't have our own pool then. Now they have it. You know, we swam in a pool that sometimes turned green. It was rented out from the ghetto neighborhood it was surrounded by. Because, well, let's go off on tangents, you know. The whole development area was developed by a guy named Sharp. It's called Sharpstown. Now, if you're anywhere near Houston, you're like, ooh, Sharpstown. Okay, that's not a very prestigious place. It was meant to be, and it was mismanaged. The real estate developer was caught embezzling things, if I recall correctly. The school I went to actually suffered because there were some real estate shenanigans. They had to sell some of the land, and then the oil crisis hit in the 80s. There were some other problems with it. But the point is, it was going to be a ritzy place, right? It wasn't. But anyway, so it's a nice school, you know, good school or whatever. And there were smart kids there, right? So, but even there, the valedictorian, my year, was not me. Sorry, salutatorian was not me. No. I probably could have. I don't know if my GPA was high enough. They took it from the top 10. They would never have. So no. By that time I was checked out. But the point is, the valedictorian ended up to be a doctor. Right? I'm not on Facebook anymore because fuck it. But the guy ended up being a doctor. And, you know, you got to be pretty smart to be a doctor. It's not that easy. Someone's whistling. I think it's my neighbor. I still haven't said hi to him. You know, thankfully I don't have much lawn to mow because, good Lord, you know, but there's still some, and I'll have to look into that or talk to him and see where the property line is, although I think he just did his side, but I don't know, I probably should say hi. But even these casual little things of hi neighbor, and I cannot do this shit. Like, leave me alone. You know? That's fine. We're getting sidetracked. So, 3 minutes? I thought this was a lot more. Okay, fine. Let's keep on track like a railroad. There we go. So, see, yeah, it's all over the place. It works on so many levels, yes. So, he wasn't a dumb kid at all. In fact, he was not in the AC computer science class, and I did pretty bad with computer science. You'd think as someone who made all his money offline or online, you would have thought I'd be a good computer programmer. No, I'm not. I wasn't. I just never took to it. The front end side, the design stuff, the business side of things, I always liked that more, but I was just very frustrated by the back end programming stuff. I just never took to it. I wasn't patient with it, but you know, I had to be very patient with the front end stuff too, but for some reason, I just really could sit down and just get into it. And we'll get back to that because that's important. We'll hold the finger up. We'll remember front end design stuff important into this airplane thing. Yes. But anyway, so this guy was smart. You know, he took the regular computer science class, but he got a 4 or 5 on the AP computer science exam. I think he had scored the highest of 5 out of 5. I don't think anybody in the AC or AP class scored a 5. That sort of. So he's not a dumb guy, right? Now he was like I think he was from Colombia as well, kind of Hispanic, so doesn't like Trump, that sort of thing. So that's like whatever. But that's not even, no, just let's focus. Let's focus. Choo choo, you know? But he's a smart guy. I really have to hand that to him. He's a doctor. You know, you could see that he was conscientious. He did his work all the time. I think he did some athletics as well, so he wasn't some loser nerd, right? He was kind of a nerd, but he did so. So I really don't want to be like, well, these losers I had to be with, you know. No, smart guy, right? And he's now a doctor. And presumably he's okay with it. I don't know. Maybe we'll find, you know, he shot himself or something. I don't know. But it does seem to me that a lot of people, including smart people, so it can't be, oh, those dumb people. A lot of smart people still find perfectly, they find good enough meaning or good enough something in just going on, doing the day-to-day stuff with the doc. It's the same thing with doctors. You know, this guy's sick, it's this thing, oh, it's a little different here. But it's the same fucking thing, you know? When I quit college, it was very open-ended, you know? It wasn't, oh, here's the degree, here's the thing, or put this fucking thing on the wall. It still doesn't work. You know, it's not straightforward. It was very open-ended. There was no guarantee of any success. Because if you're smart enough, you do the degree stuff, you do this, you do that, you know, you're going to be relatively successful if you can maintain that. But my thing was always, let's do something a little challenging where it's going to be difficult. We might fail. And, you know, I act like a crazy lunatic. I'm in despair. Oh, this is going to fail. That's going to fail. But I kind of like that on some level with the business side of things. I ran the Andkon Arcade, in case you haven't remembered, or, you know, from previous things. And it wasn't original. Other people were putting up Flash games, but I thought, you know, let's put up Flash games, but not 100 million. Let's put up good ones. I don't have any money to license anything, so I'm just going to editorialize and pick the best games. I'll try to find people. I'll advertise this way, that. There are a million moving pieces in it. And part of the novelty, part of the originality was that it wasn't original at all. Everyone did Flash games and, oh, just upload this. But the question then is, how do you get to have... I had millions of page views at one point per day. If you go to Google Trends, and you can relive the glory days with me. I mean, you type in Andkon, A-N-D-K-O-N, on Google Trends. I mean, there were some months where I was as big as fucking Brad Pitt. I swear to God, PewDiePie, if you compare like US, PewDiePie now, and it's a relative thing. I will link to these because it's like, holy shit, this was pretty big. And, you know, it's not to brag, it's just, there was something unique about just me I had this drive, this has got to work, and it's not like I'm doing anything that unique. So how do you get something that's not all that unique to be relatively big? And that was fun. It was very frustrating, but there was a sort of challenge to it. And that's the airplane, which is, it's going everywhere, you know? It's not a straight line of, oh, I'll do this degree, oh, I'll do that program. It's not a bunch of standing in line. It's you fucking do it. It's not very straightforward, you know? And I like that. I like that. Even as a sort of challenge. But now that I've, you know, made enough money, you know, I want to do something different. But everything just seems like busy work. The few things that are sort of challenging, what's the point, you know? And part of it was, I don't want to do another business, you know? Part of it was Guerrero. You know, I wanted to do other businesses, but none of those worked out. I didn't have my heart in it, and I was missing that passion to put something else together. You know, I wanted to be around like-minded people. And at first, it was the Guerrero thing, Guerrero.com. You know, I don't know, I'm rambling. But yeah, it just seems like, well, no, that's good. The Guerrero thing is, okay, hold on, finger. Let's remember the finger. So I was just absorbed into the whole front-end web design stuff and the business side of it. How do you promote it? And it was frustrating, but I just kept doing it. It was fun. It was just, oh, this is great. Now, of course, this was the same time when I couldn't talk about the real things, the military school incident thing. It was easier to absorb myself into those things, and even though I was, 16, 17, I guess I had a passion. I wouldn't say workaholic. I wasn't making money then about it, but I had the passion for it. And in some ways it's a sort of dissociated passion because, parents suck, everybody else sucks, so I guess I'll be alone and do this thing. And, it got me through high school, it got me through college, it got me to quit college. But now it's like, I can't just make money. It's not fulfilling. All right? And that's sort of the overlap, which is in the same way that most people, I think, have a very fixed train path. We do this, we do that, we do that. Even high-functioning, smart people just have that. Is that picking up the... It's just, I can't... It's just, I've become aware of... So, the connection, how many minutes here? 11, okay, this is not too bad. And I'm rambling, I get that. It's hard to explain these things. I haven't talked out loud too much about this. There's an asterisk next to that. There were some, but we're not going to go into that. For functional purposes, I haven't really talked out loud about it very much, But so my passion for doing the front-end web design, the business side, it then parlayed itself into an actual business. Yeah, that was somewhat of a distraction. Like Guerrero was somewhat of a distraction. It was, I had a boyfriend, he was kind of effeminate, and it's like, oh, it's because he's effeminate. No, it's not because he's effeminate. It was a dysfunctional relationship. It was just as dysfunctional as my parents screaming at me and threatening to abandon me. It was just as unconscious and, and just robotic or whatever you want to call it. That was the problem, And I think part of me figuring this stuff out, part of me, that my parents weren't particularly good, that I wonder if that's the connection, that in the same way that even though running the business in a different way, quitting college, like relatively few people do now, and doing a kind of unique thing, that the airplane mode, so to speak, where I'm kind of having to do different things, me not being around my parents and saying these people suck and they're garbage and they're never going to get better. Again, my mother's already dead and my father, but you could never talk to them as people and say, look, this kind of hurt. Like, why are you abandoning me? Why did you threaten to do this? Like, first of all, we kind of know you're not serious. So when I was little and they always threatened to abandon me, to get me to behave or whatever, it's like that didn't make me feel good. I was terrorized by that. It's like telling a small child, you're going to leave them. It's a death threat. But I'm sure it'd be brushed off and, oh, well, we didn't mean that, and, well, or the people who are like, well, I was spanked and I turned out fine. Oh, fuck me, just, And again, part of the airplane analogy there is I'm different enough, I'm nonconformist enough to have kind of uncovered these things with the help of reading other people's stuff. But then what is there to live for, right? There's not too many other people around who are open about this. The few people who are, Molyneux was mentioned. I did a good take on it. I really don't want to beat up on the guy. I mean, in so far as the family stuff, in so far as the, head and shoulder above the rest, really. But it stopped here. And you know, it's good enough, but it's not good enough for me, and there's some issues there. I mean, I already rambled about it, so maybe I can link to that here. It's like, where do, you know, it's like, where do I show up? And maybe this is part of it, which is, okay, the fan doesn't work. I'm probably not going to kill myself right now over it, okay? It's fucking frustrating, though. You know? And I woke up at 8 about this. I was just so goddamn frustrated, you know? But what can I do? And it's like, what can I do? I could have, you know, put up a video, but it's now, what, 1 p.m.? And I still haven't done anything. You know, I was thinking, you know, because the lights I was talking about in the kitchen, the tube lights, and they're too bright. Okay, I'll try to return them if I can. If I can't, they don't take it back. They're generous. I'll take the brighter one, because the cool white is brighter than the bright white. I do not understand these motherfucking people. The cool white is 4,000 K. The bright white is 3,000 K. Soft white would be 2,700. They don't have that. And it's like that. Yeah, it works good. There's no shadows. We already know that. It'd be better if it was taken off a notch. It was a little bit better. So maybe we can do that. And again, you know, small victories. I don't hear the rattling of the air vents anymore. So that's good. We can do the Home Depot fucking thing. We can go out to the park today. Because I have been cooped up here doing nothing. Okay. Way too much. Again, I swim, I walk, but it's just, you know, and then it's the symptom I have a lot of things to talk about. I have a lot of problems, and I have a lot of things to talk about. But part of the self-care and symptom management, it's like, that's all it is, you know? It doesn't get to the deeper stuff. And that's fine. You know, let's be outside a little more. I have a great schedule. You know, I don't have to be anywhere. Yeah, that's great, isn't it? So, and that fucking stain over there. That's fine. We'll wash it out. It's going to take a couple days to get it right. The drying has made it a little less sticky. I probably put more of the unsticky stuff that itself is a little sticky. Although they themselves say, spray a cloth with it, dab that in. I sprayed, into it. And yeah, I know. And, you know, this is one of the things, it was, no one talks about this stuff. You know, the insanity associated with removing motor oil. Yeah, no one talks about that. You know, it's just 18 minutes. I can keep going. I can fucking keep going. You know? And it's good to let this out. Maybe these insane ramblings are the path to the cure. Or not. Because again, the suicide stuff, we got to talk about. We have to mention that. And that's, how do you mention that? Like, or not, or I just kill myself. Because, you know, probably it. Not right now. But, you know. And it's like, okay, if I'm going to kill myself, great. Then in the past, in the future, sometime maybe. But until then, can we not fucking worry about this? Can we just focus on, all right, we can do this today. That's fine. That's all we can do. That's fine. Or maybe that this is it, because it's not about these fucking things. It's about the fact that I can't talk to anyone about the military school incident, about the abandonment stuff. About the, you know, you look at these Dr. Phil videos, and again, he's not bad, you know. I saw a video once, and I'll repeat this story a million times. I can't even find it anymore. It was like the father was like chasing around his, I think it wasn't even a puberty. It wasn't like a rebellious teenager. It was, I think, like a 10-year-old prepubescent. Wasn't a small child, but like before puberty, maybe 10. So, he picked him up and threw him at the back of the open pickup truck, and he kind of fell off, and the kid was screaming. And Dr. Phil was like, well, this is not good parenting, and he actually called it out and said, this is a little too much. And you look at the comments on Facebook, which just don't even have Facebook, just no. For so many reasons, just don't Facebook. No, just do not. I logged in maybe last month when I was selling stuff at the old house, and I haven't been on there 2-3 months. Has it made my life better? Well, yeah. I'm living proof. You can reach your dreams. I'm living proof. Beefcake. Remember Eric Cartman? I think that was the first season. I haven't had much to drink since November either. That hasn't helped, has it? Well, we're talking. This is good. I don't want to sell myself short on this stuff. I do beat myself up about these things, but it's just okay. This is an improvement, but so what? What are we improving to? We're still so far from anything worth living for. But going back to Dr. Phil, because we have lots of tangents, and that's fine too. So you think like, okay, the kid was picked up, he was hurt and everything. And you look at the comments on Reddit, you look at the comments on Facebook, you look at the comments. And it's like, oh my God, like everyone's okay with this. Everyone's okay with that shitty behavior. And it's like, I don't know, you're the parent, you could prevent these things. But no, that would mean you'd have to look at mommy, daddy, and see that they weren't perfect. You'd have to snap out of the Stockholm Syndrome and examine your own life. And who wants to do that? And it's not like I'm a great advertisement. Come join me in my misery as I want to kill myself over a barely functioning. It works just one small humming noise that doesn't go away. Come join me in my neurotic misery here. This is where wisdom is. I did see I did read Brave New World, and there was that thing in there with the 22. Okay, all right. The savage, and he tries to free people. He tries to throw away their pills. He tries to find like-minded people, perhaps, like yours truly. But there's not a good response to it. And you know how that book ends. I hate to spoil it for you. Turn away if you want to read the book, and he kills himself. Lovely. Well, no, because that's the only thing I remembered from Brave New World when we had to read it in high school is, the savage, the soma and everyone's drugged up and stuff, but like the one scene that I could remember, like, this was in the book, right? And then I looked it up. Yeah, it's in the book. Chapter, I linked to it in another timestamp. Maybe we can do it here too. Chapter 12, I don't know. But it was the savage tries to free, was it the deltas or something? And he throws their drugs away and they start beating him up. And it's like, all right. That does seem like the world. Nobody's all that interested in this stuff. And even, again, the good enough people, Molyneux, again, I had some criticisms. I'll have more. But even that good enough stuff, it just doesn't seem to make anything worth living for. Where's an address? Where's a get-together? I do feel suicidal a lot of times. It feels empty. What's the point? Where's that? Where do you go when you realize a lot of society is just kind of bullshit? People are just the way they are. Drugged up deltas or something, whatever classification. Epsilons, I think that was like the lowest. I don't know. Where do you go from there? And again, going back to, was it college? I think that's where we started. My esteemed college preparatory, founded by an oil baron, yes. It's like, again, that was a smart kid's school, and nobody talked about this stuff. And what do? Because the real frustrating thing is not the fucking fan. We can figure that out. Box fan. We can buy a new box fan. $20, who cares? Minimalist, fantastic. And the battery's flashing. And it's 2 minutes. You know, the real frustrating thing isn't that. It's this. How do I reach other people? You know, and you know, if you're a normie and you're like, oh, well, you know, I was beaten. Okay, I don't, you know, I really don't want to jump down your throat. That's not fair. But I don't think we're ever going to see eye to eye on it, you know? I don't think we are, you know? Because all the rationality I have, this is still a feeling thing, and a lot of people just don't connect to this. They really don't. So I guess the fan is a good thing, because we can talk about this. Oh, fan. We still hate you, though, so don't worry about it. That's fine. It doesn't have to be fixed every day. And then they're coming Monday to fix or put an extra air vent into the sunroom. You know, and that's all we could remove the windows there so the fans work. We could put new fans there, but do I want to put fans like this that make that grating humming noise? And then put two more, and it's like, oh God. That's why this would have been a good test run here. Like, oh, this works fantastic. But it doesn't matter. You know, we need to do stuff like this. Maybe we can ramble our way into coherence and put something useful together. So I think that's it for now.